Hey guys, it's Di from BeingMommywithStyle, and today I wanted to do a little bit of a BizVid. So this is actually a requested video talking about a few different topics relating to YouTube, talking about if you're a YouTuber, how to get started with a blog, why to get started with a blog, and those sorts of things. I thought I would also share what I am reading right now, the books that I'm reading right now, and also kind of talk about marketing in general in relation to YouTube. And I may kind of touch on a little bit why influencers do sponsor videos, although that may kind of turn into its own video, as I talked about in a video last week. But first of all, let me answer the requested kind of questions for this video and kind of share the books that I'm reading right now. So you guys know that I have degrees in marketing, and I've obviously been doing social media for a number of years. I also work in social media in my full-time job, and I'm also the kind of marketing lead, the kind of liaison, I guess, between the marketing department and the other departments, and I represent us at all of the, meetings that are interdepartmental and all that sort of thing. So I kind of live in this world where I'm in social media and kind of in marketing, and I kind of have, I don't know, like I feel like one foot in a lot of different things. I kind of joke at work that I'm the person that runs around and sticks bubble gum in all the holes in the ship, and I just try to keep the ship moving forwards. So that's really kind of feel like my role at the current state in life that I'm in. But as far as doing YouTube specifically, I had a few people that were interested in talking about transitioning from YouTube to a blog, not necessarily letting go of the YouTube altogether, but starting a blog and how you do it. And I know that this is really kind of like a fear factor, I think, for YouTubers, because we're so used to video editing and getting the clips and dropping them in and editing them together and uploading them, and that really starts to become seamless for us. And it really is one of those things, the more you do it, the quicker it becomes, and the more comfortable you come with it. The more you film, the more comfortable you become on camera, and the more comfortable you become with saying, I'm not refilming that. So like I do things sometimes where before I would have filmed them 4 and 5 times if I would have stumbled over a word or felt like I said the word too much or whatever the case would be. And now I'm just like, whatever. I clearly don't have time for it because I work full time, so it really is one of those like you get what you get type of situations. But also I think you become more comfortable with yourself as well. And social media has really changed, and I've seen a couple videos on this recently. I started out in 2012, 2013 with kind of a more businessy presence, or at least uploading video and starting to get paid for it type of presence. And it's really kind of a tricky terrain because it's so new. And so first of all, the tough part is that no one wants this to be anyone's job. Everyone wants to have all these videos that people are watching, but no one wants it to actually become a job for anyone. And then once it does become actually a job, and by job I mean something that you are having to pay taxes on. I mean, quite frankly, if you have to file taxes on it, it's a job, but it can still be really fun. And so I feel like a lot of influencers and YouTubers are stuck in this kind of like, this kind of being pulled back and forth by like brands and companies saying like, we want you to do this and that and this and that. And like people that watch your videos saying, well, we don't want you to do any of that, but we want you to show you all of these other things that could be financed by all of that. And so it's really just, it's really kind of tricky right now, to be honest. A lot is changing. It's going more to video. Facebook's wanting to compete with YouTube. YouTube's wanting to compete with Pinterest. I will say, if you're not already on YouTube, right now is one of the hardest times to get started. I am not ever one to discourage people from starting. So if you love YouTube and you've got your heart set that this is your passion and you want to do it, awesome. Hit record, start uploading. But I really feel like now is one of the hardest times to start. They just changed the monetization levels to where you have to have 1,000 subscribers and something like 4,000 watch hours, which if you have an established channel with 2,000 videos is not a huge number to meet. But if you're just starting out and you've got 10 videos, it's much harder to get those watch hours. So I feel like it's a tough time. They're really trying to clean it up, which I appreciate as a current creator. But the algorithm's ever changing. Obviously, Wreck-It Ralph touched on that. The algorithm's ever changing, and what the algorithm favors is ever changing. Right now, I'll tell you, just as a creator, this is one of the most interesting times, because the algorithm on YouTube is starting to favor DIY videos. And they publicly said that they were gonna start doing this. They're gonna start pumping into learning channels, which I love because I wanna do more STEM stuff and more learning, but I feel like it just gets pushed down in the feed and no one watches it. So I would love to promote that more, but also DIY. They're wanting to compete more with Pinterest. So I'm seeing these DIY videos that I did as a stay-at-home mom, you know, DIY pumpkins, DIY wreaths, DIY tulle skirts, and they're all of a sudden popping up and getting comments, you know, after being dormant for a year or two, and they're videos that are 5 years old. And so that's really what's kind of being refreshed right now, are DIY videos. So if you weren't a channel that had any of those on there, or it's not something you focus on, I think it's a real rough time to start out. That being said, if it's your passion, it really has to be a passion, go for it. If you're already a YouTuber and you're established and you're trying to figure out like, okay, well, how do I take this to the next level? Starting a blog is kind of the natural next step, and I wrestled with this for years. I would have one foot in, one foot out. I started a blog, put it on WordPress. I hated dealing with it. I pulled it back to Blogger. I went back and forth between Blogger and WordPress about 2 times. I finally hit the point this past year, after going into full-time work, and we'll talk about that, why there's air quotations there, not as far as my job goes, but just because the past few months I've actually made more with my side gig than YouTube, or YouTube is my side gig, kind of, although it's been my longer term, then I've made more with YouTube than my full-time. Anyways, so I've been one foot in, one foot out with the blog, and really kind of hit a point where like, you got to do this, because I'm going to all of these conferences where there's a lot of bloggers with a B, and so I really see the value in it, but it's just the time and the learning curve, and you get into it and it's like SEO and blah. So, which by the way, you really have to do SEO for YouTube. Don't forget, YouTube is a search engine, and that's the whole reason anyone's ever found my videos is SEO. If you don't know what SEO stands for, you need to go research it now. SEO is really kind of an important part of marketing, and voice SEO is getting ready to be the next big thing. YouTube is, from what I hear, getting rid of tags, and it's listening to me talk right now to figure out how to rank my video in the video list at the front page. And that's like the holy grail, getting YouTube to suggest your videos. And I've had a number of videos that's the whole reason that they've taken off, is because YouTube picked them up and suggested it. So anyways, that's kind of the thing that you have to do, is look into the background of SEO and really use it. But we're at this kind of really weird time where YouTube's wanting to be Pinterest, Facebook's wanting to be YouTube, Facebook's bought Instagram and trying to turn it into Facebook. And it's just, everyone's trying to figure out what the next thing is. I don't know what's gonna work yet, so it's really confusing as creators. Like, what are we supposed to be doing here? I now upload videos to Facebook. I'm in their Launchpad program, so if you've seen me uploading videos over there, it's because they're pushing their video content and they would like creators to be over there doing what we're doing here on YouTube, vlogging, sitting down and talking to the camera, and they want that content over there. So I'm now in that program where I'm uploading videos and doing essentially vlogging over on Facebook as well. And so it's a lot of navigating new terrains and new territories right now. So anyhow, to segue back to blogs, you've got all this going on in the background and you just feel like you've got video handled, and then they're constantly changing things and you're like, I gotta add a blog on top of it, which is stressful, but I think necessary. So here's a couple of things that make a blog worth it. It's easier to hold a giveaway on a blog. You can get like a raffle copter or something like that. From the past 3 years or so, I have hosted all of my giveaways over on my blog. It's so much easier to pick a winner. A lot of the giveaway rules have changed. You're just more in line with FTC type of rules, and so that's why I started hosting those over there. It's also great to have another place to have like a landing page where people can find you, and it's another way for people to find your YouTube channel. So the problem is that you need to be putting time in to do Pinterest images where you can pin your blogs. And you need to have blogs that have good SEO so they're searchable. So then people can find those blogs and hopefully have a video embedded in them. And then that brings them back to your YouTube as well. While at the same time, YouTube is changing its algorithm requirements, and you know, your CPM, or the rate that you're paid per 1,000 views, might be going down. It fluctuates all the time, obviously. And it's just this terrain that is ever changing, and you're just constantly scrambling. Well, what do I do now? They just changed everything. So my best advice to a YouTuber that's trying to figure out, is a blog worth it? Is it not? I would say yes. It's nice to have that one landing page where you're in control, build up your own email list, and it's something that you're in control of. I kind of wish I would have stuck with it like 2 years ago and just stuck through, but I was not in the right kind of mental mindset to devote the time to it. Now that I'm out and kind of seeing what works as far as email lists and SEO on different types of websites and all those sorts of things, I feel like I have a better mental grasp of what to go after. So I just recently paid to have my blog redone. So that's the one thing, is with blogs, you get into the coding, and I got in the middle of having my blog transferred over, and I thought I could do something with the web address, and I crashed the whole thing and had to call my developer, and it was panicked. And it really is best that if you don't know that kind of stuff, the ins and outs of it, find someone to help you do it. Because it's not super confusing, but literally I hit one button and the whole blog disappeared. So I was able to get it back, obviously, but it's stressful from that sense of you're not using like YouTube's interface, where like you can accidentally delete a video, but it's pretty hard to delete your whole channel. So, you know, like with a blog, it's just a little bit more temperamental, and you can get bad code on there and then the whole thing doesn't work. So if you don't understand that part, I would just highly recommend you find someone that can help you build it out. It can be anywhere from a couple $100s to like $1,000, but it's seriously well worth it. That's the other thing that was a struggle, because like, okay, YouTube's making money. It's a self-sustaining thing for me. Starting a blog from scratch, it obviously hasn't been monetized yet. And so you're having to dump all this money in because the hosting costs $300, and you gotta reserve the web address, which is another, you know, $20 to $100, and then you gotta pay someone to put it together is another $500. So you just see all of these dollar signs getting racked up, and you think, really, what's the point? But I think the takeaway here is that if we look at Vine, and I don't think that this is gonna happen with YouTube, but we don't ever know what tomorrow's gonna bring. Vine was there one day. There was creators that have made a great living on there, and they woke up one day and it was gone. Like literally no warning, it was gone. And so I think that it's good to have something like that blog that's in your control, where people could still find your platform if we woke up one day and our main platform that we weren't in control over was gone. That's a really, I mean, like, that literally gives me like chills to even think about. And I don't think it's gonna happen with YouTube. I hope it's not gonna happen with YouTube. Please don't, YouTube. But it's a very real concern, just because, you know, we don't own Google and we don't own Facebook, and we don't know what's gonna happen with their decisions. So you just never know. So if you are currently a YouTube creator and you've really been wrestling with, you know, what do I do with this? I would highly recommend that you get it started. Just get something up there. Even if you can't get on a regular blogging schedule right away, and that's a whole nother issue, but at least get something up there. And it's better to hold your giveaways on there, I think, for sure. Now, just like it's better to have a set schedule, how people can find you, and better for the website, the search sites to scroll you and all those sorts of things, it's better to have a set schedule for your blog too, which is, you know, this gets very time consuming. And I know everyone, if anyone's still left watching this video, which I seriously doubt there's not, if you don't have a YouTube channel, you've checked out a long time ago. But if there's anyone left that doesn't do this stuff, it's really hard to explain how time consuming all this is, but it really does take a lot of time. It takes a lot of time. And that's one of the things I'm gonna talk about in my YouTube and sponsorship videos. I mean, what other job are you expected to do for free? I mean, there's really, social media is new, yes, but I think we're kind of starting to break out of that point where people have been expected to do it for nothing, basically, for quite some time. And we're really starting to figure out, like, okay, like, this is what we should be asking for. This is what we should be doing. So that all being said, it's a cool thing to be in. I mean, I've absolutely loved my past 6 years on YouTube, but it's definitely changed. You know, when I first started, you had to apply to be in the partnership program, and they invited my first channel, Bakes for Bubbles. They invited it at that point because I had some videos that had, I don't know, 100,000 views or something like that. And so it was like a they found you type of thing. And so then it changed to where it was open with it for everyone, and they had all kinds of problems. And now they've closed it back down again to where at least there's these parameters. But it's kind of one of those things where I don't know what the next step is with the algorithm now favoring more Pinterest-worthy content. That's a whole nother video in itself of like the bar constantly being pushed up from what it regularly was. You know, is just sitting down and sharing a day in the life acceptable anymore? I don't know. So it's a struggle, and it's a struggle here, it's a struggle on Instagram. You know, sometimes I literally have a picture loaded up and I've written the quote and I'm like, I can't post this. Like, it's not good enough, I can't post this. And that's like a super struggle to be in. Like when you only have 7,000 followers, like I'm not even a big channel. I am not ever going to be like a mega channel. I don't have a big Instagram. I mean, it's a moderate size, you know? Like I have people that follow me on there, but like for me to be in that situation of me looking at things and like, oh, I just can't even post that. It's just something fun that I want to share, but we're caught in this like kind of cycle right now of expectations versus what we should be sharing versus, you know, what the companies that are pushing our material are looking for. Like when that's changing, then that's constantly changing what we feel like we should be doing. So anyhow, all that being said, here are the books that I'm reading right now. There's 4 of them. Actually, I have a 5th one in there, which I had a funny story in the day in the life of how it arrived here, but that'll be in the day in the life. I'm reading This Is Marketing by Seth Godin. He's a blogger that basically showed up every day, and that's how he's made his name. Be a network marketing leader. My Scentsy director sent this to me, and I haven't started it yet, but I'm planning on reading it. I just recently read Start With Why by Simon Sinek. I have a why project, which I'm going to be talking about in a different video, and then sharing my why project in a separate video from that. And I'm super excited to share it. I hope it's meaningful to you because it's meaningful to me. And so then I got this Find Your Why as a follow-up workbook to work through with my team at work. And then I also got She Means Business by Cheery Green, Turn Ideas into Reality and Become a Wildly Successful Entrepreneur. You know, I have a lot of ideas. I have a lot of bad ideas, but I have all these things I want to do, and I don't know how to focus. I don't know how to pick what to focus my energy into, basically. Like I have t-shirt lines in my head that I want to do t-shirts, and I have these subscription box ideas that I want to do these subscription boxes, and I want to do like travel planning things, and I want to do this and I want to do that. But I'm one person, and the bottom line is I only have so many hours in a day, and I've almost hit this point where if I decide to put my effort into the wrong thing, I don't want to hit this point where I look back and go, oh, I just wasted all that time. So I'm really trying to sort out like what to pour my energy into. Obviously YouTube is one thing I'm going to keep doing. But I'm really just trying to figure out like, how is my time best served? I have all these things I want to do, but I have limited hours in the day, and I have to sleep at some point, and I have to see my kids and my husband at some point. So that's kind of where I'm at. The other thing, and excuse my language, but it's the title of the book. The next book that I'm going to order from Amazon is called Get Rich Lucky Bitch. And that's the title of the book. And so I can't remember the author's name, but it's on Amazon. And so it is basically just about breaking mindsets, about what kind of mindset you have, about spending money, and you know, what your worth is. And I feel like I need that right now because of the influencer space and because of us being told our worth is or is not certain things. I feel like I need to get some clarity on what my worth is, for lack of a better purpose, or lack of a better purpose, or lack of a better way to say that, and really kind of get some clarity for 2019. But for me, 2019, based on my why project, which I'm going to be sharing with you guys soon, it really kind of opened up the idea of like, this is why I love doing this right now, because I love the ability to send a positive impact out in the world. And even if it's just one person a day, that's 365 people a year that I was able to positively impact. Times over 90 years of a lifetime, that's tens of thousands of people that you could positively impact. Even if it's making one person smile, making one person's Disney vacation easier, helping one girl be interested in STEM. I mean, I think that's a pretty good goal in life to have. So I'll talk about that in my Why project. I'll share that with you guys coming up soon. But hopefully this was helpful. If you have any other biz questions about YouTube, starting a blog, or anything, let me know down below. I'd be happy to help you out with those. And until then, I hope you guys are having a wonderful Vlogmas. Happy holidays, and I will see you in another video very soon. Thanks for watching.